bow as we pray. Lord gracious God, we thank you for the earnest purpose and personal achievement represented here. We are glad that to those who have labored in the classroom under the careful watch of their teachers, appropriate recognition is to come. As we participate in this week's celebration, may your blessing rest upon each of us. May our graduates be found faithful in the use of the training they have received and use it for the benefit of the human family. May all who have acquired greater knowledge remain forever humble before the great mysteries of life. To this end, we commit this hour and our very lives to you, Almighty God.
Thank you. What we call the beginning is often the end. And to make an end is to make a beginning. The end is where we start from. Peculiar relevance of what we are doing today at this convocation, the beginning of the commencement exercises. 93. A sweet sorrow. Today we are here to honor the members who attained membership in the Cum Laude Society by virtue of their academic excellence. Later in this program, we will honor two individuals who have earned their membership in the Cum Laude Society through excellence in living. The Cum Laude Society is a national quality matters more than intellect. It was her three Ariel Alvarez. David Knudsen. Bridget Ann O'Connell. Michael Nelson Payne. Jeffrey John Kissinger. David Skyler Rush. Anne Elaine Stentz. Marshall Lee Stoker. Mary Lee A. Simpson. Laura Elise Sackwell. Student inductees, if you will stand for a moment as I read the charge of the Cum Laude Society to you. The distinguished record you have made at this school has won for you membership in the Cum Laude Society. This society is a fellowship of scholars, of men and women, whose purpose is to recognize excellence in academic work. As you pursue your education, it is our hope that you will accept the honor of membership in the society as a responsibility to make a contribution to humankind's ongoing search for greater understanding of ourselves and of society. Congratulations to all of you. You may be seated.
Unlike a college, Culver cannot recognize distinguished achievement through the granting of honorary degrees. The Academy can and does recognize such achievement, however, by bestowing honorary membership in the Cum Laude Laude Society. Each year, the Culver chapter traditionally nominates outstanding individuals for the singular recognition. And today, we are privileged to present to the class of 1993 two outstanding individuals who went before and who were more than worthy of emulation. In each instance, we recognize an individual who, by dedication and personal commitment, has brought distinction to herself or himself, great service to society, and benefit to others. First, by vote of the faculty, and let me say, this is one of the first Culver graduates I met when I arrived at the Academy. It is a woman we honor today. She impressed me then as an outstanding human being, and through the years that I've known her and worked with her, my respect has grown even more. Therefore, I joy in the opportunity now that I have to speak of her. By vote of the faculty, members of the Cum Laude Society, I present to you for honorary membership in the Culver chapter, Jane Summers Dorman Everly. Jane Summers Dorman Everly, class of 1973. 20 years ago, you graduated from Culver in just the second graduating class of the Culver Academy for Girls, as it was then known. You had come to us as a student from Fort Wayne, Indiana, your hometown at that time. You were not here long before you were recognized for your concerned attitude, your desire to excel as an individual, and to contribute to the development of the program for young women at Culver. You became an ardent member of Dance Vision, a volunteer member of the CAG Planning Board. Your peers elected you president of the senior class. You were also a member of the Personnel Committee, whose philosophies and procedures you helped to develop. At the end of your senior year, the faculty honored you by naming you as the recipient of the coveted Superintendent's Bowl, now known as the President's Bowl, for your total record of achievement at Culver. You studied at the University of Arizona, receiving your bachelor's degree in 1977. Following college, you became a personal banking counselor at the Northern Trust Bank of Chicago. Also in 1977, you married Reed Everly, your husband, with whom you now live in Lake Forest, Illinois, with two daughters, Elizabeth 11 and Catherine 9, and an 8-year-old son, Drew. Your community activities are many and varied. You are active with the North Shore Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Theta, as a member of the Alliance of the Art Institute of Chicago, an active member of the Church of the Holy Spirit in Lake Forest, and the Junior Garden Club. You were a member of the Junior League of Chicago from 1977 to 1985, and you also serve on the Women's Board for the Boys Shelter Club of Chicago. Add to all of those your commitments, activities with, and contributions to Culver. You served as a member of the Legion Board from 1973 to 1984, and you were the first and the only woman ever to be president of the Culver Legion, the role that you played in 1982-83. Finally, you served as a trustee of the Culver Educational Foundation from 1984 until this May. And in that capacity, you served on the executive committee and chaired the Committee on Student Affairs, revealing once again your effectiveness in working with others. Your creativity, sensitivity, foresight, and dedication continue to be your special qualities. Culver cannot adequately express its appreciation to you, Jane, as a loyal daughter of Culver. We delight in naming you as an honorary member of the Culver chapter of the Cum Laude Society.
Those are very kind words, and I will try to live up to those in the future as well. Thank you all. Congratulations to all of you who will be graduating tomorrow, and especially to the new members of the Cum Laude Society. I've not been to this particular convocation, although I've been on campus often in the last 20 years. And I almost didn't get here because I was having such a wonderful visit with relatives who had come. But luckily I made it, and I'm glad that I did. Otherwise, when they read my name for the superintendent's bowl, the president's bowl, I wouldn't have appeared. You can imagine what might have happened if that occurred. I've had the great pleasure and privilege of working with the dedicated faculty and staff, the trustees and alumni, and you, the students. You have been examples of what can be accomplished when high standards are set for honor and duty. Thank you for the opportunity to be a part of Culver since my graduation. I feel as though today is also symbolic for me, as it marks the passing of 8 years on the Legion Board and 9 years as a trustee. And when I arrived as a student in 1971, it was the first year of the Culver Girls Academy, and I have found it rewarding to see it evolve into a vital part of the academies. Culver strives to teach through practice a sense of responsibility for yourself and for your community. Through the wide experiences, we have all had the opportunity to try our hand at a variety of skills. As a student, I always felt I could do anything. Part of the learning process was planning and prioritizing my time. Then in the late 70s and 80s, women were told that they could and should do everything. Wife, mother, community activist, even CEO. And at the same time, stay physically and emotionally fit. It was our right, our obligation. Even those of us who thought of ourselves as being conservative and sensible found ourselves taking on every challenge and stretching ourselves to outer limits. We were settling, judging ourselves by someone else's definition of what we should be. Very few women can successfully be all of these things, just as very few men can. I found that I too was caught up in this whirlwind of newfound freedom, while losing sight of the wise planning and prioritizing I've learned at Culver. The idea was not to restrict trying to be a fulfilled person, but choosing wisely and doing those tasks well. I have chosen to be a wife, a mother, and a volunteer, and I'm fortunate to be able to make that choice. This has been wonderfully rewarding for me and greatly satisfying. No one can tell another person which combination of all these options is right for another person, nor should your success be measured by how much you do, only by how well you do it. True freedom and equality comes from being able to be oneself. I believe Culver is one of the very few places in the world of education that allows students the wide range of opportunities to discover themselves. Reflecting on my Culver experience, I realized I've never left. I have been receiving an incredible continuing education. My work as a trustee and chairman of the Student Life Committee has given me the challenge of becoming a more creative problem solver without losing sight of the mission of our school. I have been able to carry this experience to other areas of volunteerism and have tried to live by example by being a responsible leader and citizen. So today, I am graduating, so to speak, moving on to other challenges and opportunities to put to use the lessons and outstanding examples set by everyone associated with this institution. You are graduating and moving on, building on the foundation structured while you were here. I will stay close to Culver, hopefully through my children. And I hope you will all keep the gate to Culver open, the ideals it stands for, and the possibilities it can offer you even after you've graduated. I wish you all much continued success, and I encourage you to keep Culver as an option for your continuing education. Thank you.
Society, we present for honorary membership in the Culver chapter, Smith Hempstone, Jr. Smith Hempstone, Jr., Culver class of 1946. When Culver named you its second Man of the Year in 1968, the youngest person ever to receive that award, it presumed that your career was at a pinnacle. How are we to know that it was just a jumping off point to even greater things? But your life has been full of surprises to those who have known you and to those who have taught you. Because as you say, you have relied on education, the ability to recognize an opportunity, and you've been willing to take a chance. You entered Culver in 1943 from Maryland, my home state. And you graduated 3 years later as a sergeant in Company D. You had a flair for history and English, and hardly any at all for science and mathematics. By your own admission, you were only a fair student, and your application to an Ivy League university was, in your own words, quote, rightly rejected. But the tradition of individualism and surroundings conducive to both study and reflection made the University of the South at Sewanee, Tennessee, just perfect for you, and you graduated with honors in history. Your graduate study at the University of Virginia was interrupted by service as a Marine Corps officer during the Korean conflict. When you left the Corps in 1952, it was to be a newspaper man. You went with the Associated Press, the Louisville Times, and the National Geographic magazine. During a fellowship to Africa, you began your love affair with that continent, and as African correspondent for the Chicago Daily News, you witnessed Kenya's independence from British colonial rule in 1963. During that time, you authored 2 books on Africa, Africa, Angry Young Giant, and Rebels, Mercenaries, and Dividends, The Katanga Story. Your novels, A Tract of Time and In the Midst of Lions, appeared in 1966 and 1968. And at that point, you were Culver's Man of the Year. Since then, you have been a foreign correspondent and then associate editor of the Washington Evening Star, following which you were executive editor and editor-in-chief for the Washington Times. During that whole period, until 1989, you continued your nationally syndicated column. And in 1989, you were appointed by President Bush to be ambassador to Kenya. And you found a different nation than you had seen at its birth. Under the repressive 11-year rule of President Arap Moi, all other political parties had been outlawed, opposition was labeled as treason, and dissidents were detained without charge and tortured. Immediately upon your arrival, you began using your position as a staunch advocate of human rights. When Kenya's leaders stated that was none of the ambassador's business, you said that the United States would, quote, concentrate economic assistance on nations that nourish democratic institutions, defend human rights, and practice multi-party politics. Shortly after that statement, 2 former cabinet ministers called for multi-party elections, causing a ferocious crackdown in which hundreds were arrested and dozens killed. You granted political asylum to one of the most prominent dissidents. Despite the demands for your recall and some less than stirring support from some officials at the State Department, your insistence on continued pressure on the Kenyan government finally bore fruit, and opposition parties were allowed to form. When you recently departed your post as ambassador, Kenya's drive from democracy was far from complete. But it has been noted by the Kenyan magazine Society, quote, no other diplomat has played so important a role in the second liberation of Kenya. And for that reason, the magazine named you Man of the Year, the only white man ever so honored. Mr. Hempstone, Culver delights in having played some small role in your magnificent careers and life of service. And we welcome you into the Culver chapter of the Cum Laude Society. But all the while, we wonder what your next stage is and how we will celebrate it in another 20 years.
Good afternoon, Manuel, Dean Najee, Dr. Davies, faculty and staff, impoverished parents, members of the class of 1993. Do not be alarmed. I don't intend to talk to you about Africa. As Henry VIII remarked to Anne Boleyn, within another context, I won't keep you long. He didn't, and I won't. I gather that what is expected of the two of us, we're being granted, in my case, for reasons known only to a few, but not understood by most, honorary membership of the Cum Laude Society. I'm told to say a few words, few is the operative word, on what Culver has meant in our careers. I should first confess that I did not come willingly to Culver. I had won a starting position in the varsity letter as a freshman on the championship soccer team at my old school, and was coming along well in football and baseball, which obviously was more important than my studies, although my parents didn't seem to understand that. No doubt modern parents are much more enlightened. But in those benighted days, boys did what their fathers told them to do, and mine said I was coming to Culver. World War II was on, and my father, a career naval officer, felt I might give a better account of myself and increase my chances of survival after the Culver experience. As we all know, that was totally unnecessary since the war ended in 1945, my older brother having won it single-handedly. I did not, I readily admit, prove to be a model cadet. In my 3 years here, to the surprise of many, I managed to earn, and more remarkably keep, a sergeant's single stripe, but because of disciplinary infractions was banned from competing for the honor guard. In short, Culver reinforced my rebellious nature by giving me something to put up against. That's what I did, and that's what I've been doing ever since. But if I rebelled against the system, I also came, perhaps unknowingly, to appreciate the virtue of order and discipline. This had nothing to do with folding my underwear exactly 6 inches wide. I mean that I learned to approach a problem in an orderly fashion, to keep my eye on the ball, and to differentiate between the necessary and the desirable. I was also fortunate to encounter at Culver 3 fine teachers, all now dead. A.J. Donnelly in mathematics, Major Bates in history, and Mr. Hughes in English. As I have since learned, it is unusual to encounter 3 fine teachers in any educational institution at the same time. Although I did well in history and English, and as the manual suggests, deplorably in mathematics, which is one reason I didn't go to the Naval Academy. The other was that A.J. Donnelly said, if you pursue a military career, you'll be court-martialed within 5 years. That was very good advice. I'm sure all three are spinning in their graves at the notion of my induction into cum laude. An honor I never came close to in my years as a cadet. I should also add at this point that in another dubious decision, as the Emanuels mentioned, Culver in 1968 selected me as its second man of the year. I was the youngest because I was the second. Ernest K. Gann, I guess, is older than I reveal this not to blow my own horn, but to give hope to those cadets who, like myself at their age, are rebels without a cause. The point is that the jury's final verdict is not in on you when you are 17 or 18. You still have plenty of time to recover from your mistakes. Even I made mistakes, although I can't remember any of them at the moment. I think you will discover as you go to college and into the larger world after that you've learned some important things at Culver, perhaps unconsciously and even against your will. The boy who passed through the Iron Gate in 1946, as you first-classmen, or first-class persons, will tomorrow, certainly never dreamed that one day he would become a foreign correspondent, a novelist, a syndicated columnist, a newspaper editor, and an ambassador. And I'm still undecided as to what I will do when I grow up. And so again, I'm speaking not to the model cadets among you, such as those of you who accepted the awards after the parade this morning, but to the rebels, to the stripeless rebels, remembering that while the verdict is not yet in on you, neither are you yet in a position to make a valid final judgment on your Culver experience. At the end of the day, when the chips are counted, I think you may discover that Culver has given you more than you knew and meant more to you than you dreamed when you were a rebellious, but I hope not revolting, cadet. The rebel in me hates to admit it, but I know this is true in my case. Thank you for the honor you've accorded me here, and good luck to all of you.
The Scholastic Medal is awarded to the cadet in the graduating class who has the highest cumulative grade point average during the second and first class years at Culver. This year, with a cumulative average of 4.26, this medal of great distinction is awarded to Kenton Farrell of Battery. The Alfred J. Donnelly Scholastic Award, given in memory of Alfred J. Donnelly, Culver's long-esteemed teacher, counselor, and dean, who retired in 1975 upon completion of 38 years of service to the Academy, is presented each year to the graduating senior in the Girls Academy who has attained the highest academic average during the junior and senior years at Culver. This year, with an cumulative average of 4.46, and hence the valedictorian of the 1993 graduating class, this award of singular accomplishment is presented to Susan Culver with 8. Tomorrow morning, 22 of the graduates will receive diplomas indicating that they have earned honors in the various academic disciplines. To graduate with honors, a student must not only achieve at an exceptionally high level in a subject, but must overcome additional hurdles such as special written or oral examinations, recitals, demonstrations, research projects, and then win the approval of the academic department concerned and the faculty honors committee. I shall ask each student receiving honors to stand as I read his or her name and remain standing until all names have been read. I would ask the audience to please refrain from applause until completion of the list. Joshua Absher, theater. Michelle Boynes, theater. Elizabeth Campbell, political science. Damian Christian, theater. Susan Culver, music. Anastasia Dickey, art. Tobias Ethington, English, dance. Ramon Gutierrez, science. Kelly Hayes, mathematics. Ji-Young Hong, music. Brian Wong, science. Elizabeth Cancer, art. Brian Kaslak, science. Michael Torres, science. Cecilia Martinez, art. Jeffrey Pippinger, English. Rachel Reddington, English. Heidi Switzer, music. Marshall Stoker, science. Sarah Strain, dance. Mary Lee Sunt, science and dance. Laura Zachman, English and Latin. Our sincere congratulations. Thus far this afternoon, the awards have all been won or earned by individuals. The final 2 awards are unit awards recognizing academic achievement. It involves every member of the dormitory, battery, troop, company. It is a competition which involves both semesters. It is a competition which is actually divided into 4 equal parts. 50% of the competition is based upon what we refer to as the absolute achievement. Simplistically, it is the average mean GPA of all of the students in a particular organization each semester. Equally important, however, counting the other 50%, is what we refer to as relative achievement. How well does John or Sally, Bill or Sue do each semester in a relative sense to what all standardized testing that we have amassed might suggest he or she might accomplish as a student in the classrooms of Culver. The Benson Bowl for Academic Achievement, presented by a former Culver cadet, is dedicated to the memory of Dean Ernest B. Benson, educator, administrator, scholar, and friend, and is awarded to the dormitory in the Culver Girls Academy having the highest academic achievement, considering both absolute and relative, for the year. The runner-up this school year was Court. Our congratulations to Court. I'm going to ask the dorm chairwoman of the winning organization to come forth to receive the Benson Bowl, the accompanying book, which we would ask be inscribed by the members of the organization. The winner this school year is Tower. The Silver Bowl is presented by Mr. E.R. Culver III, graduate of the class of 1938, and chairman of the board of trustees of the Culver Educational Foundation, to the organization in Culver Military Academy having the highest academic achievement, both absolute and relative, for the academic school year. The runner-up for the 1992-93 school year is Battery C. Our congratulations to that organization. Once again, I shall ask the unit commander to come forth to receive the Silver Bowl, the accompanying book, in which the members of the organization may inscribe their names. History, I guess it's fair to say, does repeat itself. The winner this year is Troop A.
Culver, essentially in the making. But it is my privilege on behalf of your colleagues on the faculty to thank you and to express our deep appreciation for all that you have done for us, for Culver, and for our students. Sheck, you will always be welcome. You will always be remembered. Thank you, good morning. The next individual I want to recognize has had an impact on this institution which is beyond measure. Suffice it to say that had it not been for her foresight, leadership, and wisdom, we might not be here today. She began at Culver as the daughter of one of the legends of our faculty, and she joined that faculty in 1969 and was the founding director of Culver Girls Academy. At the conclusion of this academic year, she leaves her active role teaching in the English department, but I'm delighted to announce that she will remain at the Academy and write the history of Culver Girls Academy and Women at Culver to be published in time for the 25th anniversary of the founding in 1996. It gives me great pleasure to announce that in recognition of her devoted service to Culver, the Board of Trustees has appointed Mary Frances England Master Instructor Emeritus. Award for Excellence in Teaching. In 1967, two distinguished physicians and graduates of Culver, Dr. Richard U. Light, class of 1920, and his brother, Dr. Rudolph Light, class of 1927, established the General Spivey Award to recognize and encourage superior teaching, particularly among younger, promising members of the faculty. Because of General Spivey's many contributions to the encouragement of excellence in teaching, the award was named in honor of Culver's sixth superintendent. This year, as in the past, the selection committee, composed of master instructors, had a difficult time choosing among many outstanding candidates. In the course of its deliberations, the committee decided to disregard a quarter century of precedents and honor a team. To quote from the initial correspondence between this year's recipients and the Academy, they said, quote, "We consider ourselves a team and are excited about the possibility of working together and sharing our skills in your school and community." And what a team they've proven to be. Since their arrival on the Culver campus in the fall of 1991, these two faculty members have helped to develop the same course, have coached the same JV team, have co-sponsored the same club, and have been active participants in the Portland Society and Reynosa, Mexico work project. Today, Culver is proud to honor a team which has willingly shared its skills and talents, excitement for teaching, spiritual guidance, and caring with all members of our academic community. The senior member of the team, in age that is, received his Bachelor of Science from Greenville College in Greenville, Illinois, and his master's degree in physics from Indiana University. In Indiana, he was also selected as a participant in the highly regarded and competitive Teacher as Decision Maker Fellowship Program, funded by the Lilly Foundation. The second member of the team also earned the Bachelor of Science degree at Greenville College and was actively pursuing a doctorate in veterinary medicine at the University of Illinois when the yearning for teaching drew her away. Not surprisingly, she too was named a participant in the Teacher as Decision Maker Fellowship Program. Anyone who has ever visited their classes or lab sessions will agree that these teammates have a natural flair for teaching. Likewise, their genuine concern for today's youth is evidenced in all aspects of their daily lives. Coupled with their sense of professionalism, they are a definite asset to this institution. Therefore, it is a great pleasure to announce the first co-recipients ever, the co-recipients of the 1993 Spivey Award, David L. Young and Gloria W. Young. 1993 Kaiser Scholar. Following his untimely death at Culver's 1976 commencement, the parents and classmates of Mark Kaiser, the class of 1975, established the Kaiser Scholar Program. What was hoped for was something lasting, alive, and dynamic, well representative of the young man whose memory was to be honored. It was in that light that the Kaiser Scholar Program was conceived to recognize excellence throughout the Culver faculty. The accompanying citation reads, "This accolade brings singular recognition to a member of the faculty whose scholarly interest, enthusiastic teaching, sympathetic understanding, and wise counsel combine to inspire students and kindle in them a zest for life and learning, a quality which Mark Kaiser, valedictorian of the class of 1975, truly personified, and in whose memory this award was established by parents, family, and friends." Today we honor a faculty member who has exhibited a commitment to excellence throughout his academic life, both as student and teacher. A Hoosier native, our 1993 Kaiser Scholar earned his Bachelor of Arts degree, magna cum laude, Phi Beta Kappa from Wabash College in Crawfordsville. A year later, he received his master's degree from Washington University in St. Louis. And in the fall of 1972, he was appointed to the Culver faculty. The ensuing 21 years of teaching and coaching at the Academy only served to reflect continued professional growth and commitment. Singular benchmarks include the receipt of the Spivey Award in 1977 and the appointment of the W.A. Moncrief Jr. Chair of Free Enterprise Economics in 1981. At Culver, our recipient's name has grown synonymous with two divergent academic disciplines, Latin and economics. As past president of the prestigious Indiana Classical Languages Society, it is not surprising that in a visit to his Latin class, one observed, quote, "A teacher who has sparkle, drive, and vitality. A teacher who makes the language come alive." Once again this school year, his students distinguished themselves on the National Latin Exam, and one young lady achieved the perfect score, something achieved by only 315 students out of the 78,000 who participated in the examination. In the field of economics, our recipient helped to pilot the advanced placement program in that discipline for the College Entrance Examination Board and has been named as a reader of the National AP exam. In addition, for the past 5 years, his economics classes have actively participated in the Junior Achievement Program of Applied Economics. This year, one of his students was named the winner of a Young Economist Award for outstanding achievement in economics, one of 12 regional winners recognized by the Indiana Council for Economic Education throughout the state. More importantly, however, his students over the years have reported finding this instructor enthusiastic and supportive. His serious approach to each task, combined nonetheless with a sense of humor, contribute to an atmosphere essential for sound learning experience. Sensing his own genuine interest and excitement about the material, his students become refreshingly motivated. As one of his students recently commented, he is a real taskmaster, but he knows his stuff. And he's really eager to see me succeed, not fail. Therefore, I can't let him down. Accordingly, it is with great pleasure that I announce the 1993 Kaiser Scholar, Master Instructor in Latin and Economics, Mr. Fred Oxenberg. This award was established in 1982 by the Board of Trustees in honor of Dean John R. Mars to perpetuate the worthy example generated by his positive relationship with students throughout his long career as instructor, coach, counselor, and administrator at Culver. We are pleased to have Dean Mars with us today. His 43 years of service to this academy and its young people serves as a powerful example and an inspiration to all of us in the field of education. John, would you please stand and be recognized? The Mars Award is presented annually to that member of the faculty or staff who has established the most positive and constructive relationship with students, and who by example and prefect best exemplifies the ideals of Culver and Dean John R. Mars, who was 10th superintendent of the academy and is now superintendent emeritus. When our 1993 recipient first joined the faculty in the fall of 1973, his freshly minted bachelor's degree from Trinity College in Hartford, he was no stranger to the Culver campus. Just 4 years earlier, he graduated as a 2-year cadet in Company B, an infantry company, incidentally, which he would later serve as counselor from 1977 until 1985. Since returning to his alma mater, he has also earned a master's degree in history at the University of Notre Dame and served as coach of the varsity swimming team. In the intervening years, this teacher, counselor, coach has devoted countless hours and boundless energy to helping and caring for our struggling students and athletes. The eternal optimist, students respect and appreciate the sincere concern and personal involvement of our recipient in helping them to realize their potential as students, athletes, and individuals. Our recipient's skills as an organizer have recently brought new life and vitality to the Montgomery Lecture Series and to the Alliance for Student Harmony. These are two activities committed in part to the enlightenment of the Academy community about the richness to be found in our cultural diversity. In all that he does, he brings an ethical perspective to his work and nurtures the nobility of the human spirit while challenging the Academy community in its service to others. A worthy recipient indeed of the John R. Mars Faculty Merit Award, Master Instructor in History, Mr. William Roth. Unless the weather has changed dramatically since we arrived at 2 o'clock, we will hold a reception outside on the lawn. At this time, I would ask the audience to rise and join in singing the last verse of the Culver song,